Okay, lesson one, we took a look at midpoints and distance formula. Today we're going to do a quick review of chapter 4 where we were writing and graphing equations of parabolas. All right, so remember that we have the standard form, which is nice because then remember we've identified A, B, and C. Okay, and then we found the axis of symmetry, the H, is the opposite of B over 2A. And then we found the y of the vertex, which is on your axis of symmetry, by putting H in for x. And once you had your vertex, then you could make your t-chart and find other points so you could graph it. I prefer the vertex form. To me, I'd save all this work. I can find my vertex, plot the point, and then take a look at what A does to my steps to the right and or to the left. So there's your vertex form. The factored form is kind of nice because then you get your 2y intercepts. You need to go back to chapter 4 stuff. I'm sure that's still available. You can look back and see that, okay, x equals p and x equals q are x-intercepts. So then your axis of symmetry is simply the average of those two. And then you can find k again, just like we found k when it was in the standard form. All right, so let's review this. All right, so here's my equation, y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. So my a is 2, my b is negative 8, and my c is 3. And remember, your c is also your x, or your y-intercept, excuse me. So it is going to go through at 3. I'm going to find my h by doing the opposite of b over 2a. So my axis of symmetry is at 2. So that means I have a point symmetrical to my y-intercept. Okay, so now I'm going to put 2 in for h, and that'd be 2 times 4, because 2 squared is 4, minus 8 times 2, plus 3. So 8 minus 16 is negative 8, plus 3 is negative 5. So there's my vertex. So over here, I'm going to go down a little bit. Okay, so 2, negative 5 is my vertex. And then I might well try 1 or 3. Okay, don't have my equation. There we go. So then it's simply going, when I put 1 in, it's nice. So it'd be 2 minus 8 plus 3 to give me negative 3. 1, negative 3, and use symmetry. And then I can graph it. Okay, so if you need to, go back and look at that stuff again. Ask me, I'll go over it with you. But that's a quick review of that. Okay, the vertex form. Now you can see why I like this. I don't need to identify A, B, and C, although A is still that negative 1/4. But my HK is, okay, opposite of what it looks like, so it's negative 5, positive 3. Okay, so it's going to be over here at negative 5, positive 3. And then I'll try a few points. So I'm going to try negative 4, negative 3, and I'm going to use symmetry. Because again, this vertex is on my axis of symmetry. Okay, so I'm going to have negative 1/4. Oh, I forgot my squared. Sorry about that. I got to go back and change my slideshow when I do this. Okay, so when I put negative 4 in here, I'm going to have 1. Squared is still 1 plus 3. So negative 1/4 plus 3 would be 2 3/4. Okay, so it doesn't go down much. When I put the 3 in, negative 3, excuse me, negative 3 plus 5 is 2, squared is 4, plus 3, so this will be negative 1 plus 3 for 2. Okay, and I probably didn't give it the right amount. But did you realize that that negative 1/4, the negative made it go down and the 1/4 made it wider? Okay, so there's a quick review of the vertex form. Next one's probably factored form. I was right. Okay, so my y or x-intercepts, excuse me, are the opposite of what it appears again because you're setting each factor equal to 0. So I think my graph, I know my graph is going to have a 0 at +4 and at -1. Okay, that's available for you. And when I find my h is the average of those. So that would be 3/2, which isn't the nicest thing to work with, but we'll use it. Okay, 3/2, 1.5, and that seems right. So I'm going to have -2. This has to go. You're going to have to just rely on your good looks and memory on that one. 3/2 plus 1 would be 5/2. 3/2 minus 4 minus 8/2 would be -5/2. And if you remember, that happens with your vertices. So this is going to become +25/2. Okay, so that's way up here at 12.5, if you'd like. So now I'm going to try 1. So it'll be -2 times 2 times -3. That looks like +12. So it's coming down a little bit, but it didn't go over very far either. And I'm going to put in the 0 just because those are so close together. So I'll have -2 times 1 times -4. So that's 8. So I got 0, 8. I'm going to use symmetry. There's my parabola. Okay. Hopefully you realized it was going to go downward. It was going to be narrower because of that 2. Do not let the fractions scare you. You are nearly adults. You understand those fractions. You can do fine on them. Okay, some important vocabulary with our parabolas. The vertex, that's either your maximum point or minimum point, depending on if it's going up or down. Your axis of symmetry, that is your fold line, if you'd like. It's where your vertex meets, is changing from a max to a min, so that's on that. The intercepts, we can think of that 2 ways. It can be the y-intercept, or you can have the x-intercepts. Remember, there's always a y-intercept. There can be 0, 1, or 2 x-intercepts. Okay, 0 would be if your parabola doesn't come down far enough. It can be 1 if it touches in one spot, or it can be 2. Okay, 2 would be if it goes through in more than 2 places. So, all right, now what we're moving toward is including focus, directrix, and then of course you know what the parabola is. Okay, a focus is, okay, let's take a look at the definition of the parabola first. New definition. You know, basically we've thought of a parabola as the equation of a quadratic when it has been graphed. Okay, but a parabola is the set of points in a plane that are the same distance from a point which we call the focus and a line that we call the directrix. Okay? So it's the set of points in a plane that are the same distance, that's a terrible S, from a point and a line, directrix. Okay, I'm going to show you what that means. So here's my point, and I'm going to give myself a decent line. So if a parabola is all the points that are the same distance from that point and the line, then this would be a point that is on my parabola. Because hopefully I was close enough for you to understand that this distance and this distance are the same. Okay, so now let's look at another one. So if I say I want it to be the same distance from here to here, then this point is also on my parabola. Okay, and I could keep doing that and saying, okay, I want to go this way, this distance, okay, and this distance have to be the same. So here's a point on my parabola. And if I keep doing that, I'm going to have a parabolic curve. Oh, okay, you see what I did? I do. There we go. It had to go through this one. I missed. But those points are all supposedly the same distance from the point and the line. Okay? If we keep going, those distances are supposed to be the same. And I'm not an artist, and you know that. But that's how they come up with a parabola. Okay, so if we go back to this definition stuff, okay, focus, we can think of that as being the eye of the parabola. Okay, it's the point in the interior of the parabola that we are focusing our distance on. Okay, I'm not going to write that all down because we have that with parabola. Okay, and then the directrix, that's the line that helps form the parabola. All right, so give you a moment to write that, although you guys can pause. Okay, so let's take a look at a parabola with vertex 0, 0 and a focus at 0p, in other words, a positive number. So here is going to be my vertex. My focus is going to be here, so my directrix is down here. Okay, so I think you see that the parabola is going to look something like this. All right, how do we come up with the equation of a parabola? Right, let's see what happens. Well, we know a couple things. There are a lot of points on the parabola. We're just going to find some generic point x, y. Well, the distance here and the distance here are supposed to be the same. Now, I'm not an artist. They don't look the same. But this point would be x negative p. This point is 0p, comma. Okay, and these two distances are the same. So if you take a look at the distance formulas, okay, the distance of the vertical distance, that'd be x minus x squared plus y minus negative p squared. So it's going to be y plus p. And the other way, we're going to have x minus 0 squared plus y minus p squared. I'm going to clean this up right away. Please agree with me that if you got a square root equals a square root, when we go to work solving, we can get rid of this. Okay, so we don't need to keep the square roots. Now let's simplify. This will become 0. This is still going to be y plus p, the quantity squared. This one is going to become x squared. And this is going to be y minus p, the quantity squared. Okay, some quick algebra. Squaring it. Now remember, you can't just square each part. You have to take it times itself. Okay, and the other side, x squared, y squared minus 2yp plus p squared. And look what happens when we clean things up. I'm going to leave x stuff over here and move everything else over. What happens is the p squareds cancel, the y squareds cancel, And we end up with 4yp equals x squared. And we will pick this up on the next video.